Days of Our Lives.
Why Belle and Shawn, a Days of Our Lives love story reignited by heartbreak and hope after their divorce in December 2024, many fans believed their romantic journey had come to an end. But recent developments have painted a very different picture, one filled with second chances and the unmistakable spark that never quite went out between them. So why are Belle and Shawn finding their way back to each other now? And what does this mean for Belle's current entanglement with EJ Dan Feuer-Eagle? Let's unpack the dramatic twists and emotional turns that are leading to this unexpected, but deeply moving, reunion. To understand why Shawn and Belle are remarrying, we have to look at their history. Their love story isn't just a brief affair or a temporary obsession, it's a saga that spanned decades, with as many heartaches as it has joyful reunions. From young love and first heartbreaks to raising a daughter together and navigating betrayals, their bond has endured. They've been through it all: cheating scandals, legal turmoil, family drama, and even literal life and death situations. And yet, time and again, they have come back to each other. Why? Because beneath all the chaos, Shawn and Belle have always been each other's true north, the person they run to when the world falls apart. And the world has, once again, fallen apart. The tragedy that changed everything in recent episodes, Days of Our Lives viewers saw Belle rocked by the loss of her father, John Black, Drake Hodgson, after a dangerous ISA mission went terribly wrong. John's death wasn't just another plot twist, it was a seismic event for Belle, for her family, and for the entire Salem community. John wasn't just Belle's father. He was her protector, her moral compass, and one of the few people who truly saw and understood her. Losing him created a void so profound that it forced Belle to reevaluate every aspect of her life, including her relationship with EJ. It's no secret that Belle and EJ's romance has been met with skepticism and disapproval from nearly everyone in her life. Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, Belle's mother, has never fully warmed to EJ. Brady Black, Eric Martsolf, Belle's brother, has openly mocked the relationship. And Shawn? Well, he's stayed mostly silent, until now. EJ Demera. A love that couldn't last. EJ and Belle's relationship may have started with passion, but passion alone doesn't sustain love, not in Salem, and certainly not in the wake of devastating loss. As Belle began to grieve her father, cracks began to show in her connection with EJ. And those cracks quickly widened into chasms. Part of the problem is that EJ simply doesn't belong in Belle's world. At least not the world that includes mourning at family funerals, comforting her daughter Claire, or navigating deep emotional wounds. He's a Demera, after all, and his power-hungry, manipulative tendencies often make him a difficult presence during sensitive family moments. Belle knows this. And more importantly, her family knows this. When they look at EJ, they don't see a partner who supports Belle. They see someone who distracts her from her grief and isolates her from the people who love her most. So, it's no surprise that Belle is starting to pull away. Reunited by grief and guilt, Shawn, meanwhile, has been quietly grieving too, not just for John, but for his own father, Beau Brady, Peter Reckel, who remains in a coma following a shooting incident that has haunted Shawn every day. The guilt of accidentally shooting Beau weighs heavily on him. But Shawn has also been part of the effort to bring Beau back, recently risking his life to break into a meth lab alongside Steve Johnson, Stephen Nichols, and John. That moment, when John sacrificed everything to save Beau, created a powerful emotional link between Belle and Shawn. For Belle, seeing John go to such lengths to save her former father-in-law wasn't just moving, it was a reminder of the kind of selflessness that true love demands. And Shawn has been there for Belle through every tear, every silent moment of grief, and every family gathering that EJ couldn't or wouldn't attend. Sometimes, grief has a way of cutting through confusion. It shows you what really matters. And for Belle, that clarity has brought one name to the forefront of her mind: Shawn. Close moments, and closer hearts. Fans have noticed a change in the way Belle and Shawn look at each other lately. Their conversations have been softer, their time together more meaningful. Whether talking about their daughter, their shared past, or the challenges they've each faced alone, there's a sense that the walls between them are slowly falling away. In one touching moment, Belle confided in her brother Brady that the ship with Shawn has sailed. But the tone was wistful, not final. It felt like someone trying to convince herself of something she doesn't quite believe. And with Shawn being the one to support Belle through her father's death, while EJ lurks on the sidelines, it's clear that ship may not be lost at sea after all. Looking ahead, a wedding on the horizon? All signs point to one outcome: Belle and Shawn finding their way back to one another. Not just in passing, but in a real, lasting way. Word around the set hints at something big coming this fall, potentially during Days of Our Lives' milestone 60th anniversary episodes. Actor Dan Feuerriegel, EJ, recently leaked a short behind-the-scenes video showing a 60th anniversary photo shoot featuring EJ and Chad DiMera with Kat Green, Anna Lynn McCord, but notably no Belle in sight. That's a telling absence, especially since these photos are from episodes expected to air in November 2025. Could that be the moment when Belle and Shawn's remarriage becomes official? The timing would be perfect. After a year of heartbreak, redemption, and emotional clarity, a remarriage would mark not only a renewal of their love, but also the closing of a long, painful chapter. Final thoughts. Love that stands the test of time. In the world of soap operas, few things are permanent. But when it comes to Belle and Shawn, one thing is clear: their love is a constant, even when life pulls them apart. Through grief, guilt, healing, and hope, they have rediscovered what truly matters, and each other. So yes, Belle and Shawn are getting remarried. Not because it's convenient. Not because it's dramatic, though it certainly is. But because, after everything they've been through, they've realized that they belong together. And for fans who've rooted for them since the beginning, this isn't just a romantic plot twist, it's a long overdue homecoming. Belle and Shawn. A love story defined by turmoil, passion, and second chances on Days of Our Lives. For fans of Days of Our Lives, few love stories have been as passionate, complicated, and enduring as that of Belle Black and Shawn Douglas Brady. From young love to adult heartbreak, their relationship has weathered storms most couples couldn't survive. And yet, even as they continue to drift apart, something always seems to pull them back together. This is the saga of Belle and Shawn. One that spanned decades, multiple marriages, countless betrayals, and moments of undeniable chemistry. Now, with the winds shifting once more in Salem, could we be heading for yet another reunion? If you've been following this emotional roller coaster, or if you're just tuning back in, here's everything you need to know. A history of heartbreak and hope. Shawn and Belle have always been one of Salem's iconic couples. Childhood friends turned high school sweethearts, they seemed destined to be together. They weathered family feuds, teenage drama, and even periods of separation. But over the years, life, and their own flaws, repeatedly got in the way. Things took a darker turn recently when Shawn, reeling from the trauma of shooting his own father, Beau Brady, played by Peter Reckell, fell into a spiral of guilt and self-destruction. It was an unimaginable act. Beau had been brainwashed, but to Shawn, that didn't matter. The emotional toll was profound. He turned to alcohol to numb the pain, pushing away the one person who tried to stand by him, Belle. Belle Black, always the steady and compassionate one, initially stood firm. Despite the shocking and tragic nature of Beau's death, she wanted to support her husband. But Shawn, overwhelmed by grief and guilt, responded not with gratitude, but with betrayal. He sought comfort in the arms of Talia Hunter. Jada Hunter's sister, played by a Ketra civilian. It was a devastating blow, not just to their marriage, but to Belle's sense of self-worth and trust. Belle's own mistakes, of course. Belle is no stranger to making questionable decisions herself. Long before Shawn's affair, Belle had her own dalliances, most notably with EJ Mera. Their history is messy, layered with complicated motives and emotional vulnerability. At one point, Belle had slept with EJ during a rough patch in her marriage, later insisting to Shawn that it was a one-time lapse in judgment. But in truth, the affair resurfaced again. And this time, Belle lied, again, telling Shawn it had never happened more than once. The erosion of honesty on both sides signaled the unraveling of what was once a deeply committed partnership. Eventually, the damage proved too great. The couple separated and left Salem to find clarity and healing apart from each other. Belle moved to Hong Kong, pursuing a career path and fresh start. Shawn sought solace elsewhere. When they returned, it was clear the distance hadn't healed old wounds. Divorce papers followed shortly after. A familiar pattern for longtime viewers, this isn't unfamiliar territory. Belle and Shawn have walked this road before. Back in 2016, they divorced amid emotional upheaval, only to reconcile a few years later. By 2020, they had remarried, and for a brief, shining moment, it seemed they had finally found their forever. But as is often the case in Salem, the past has a way of coming back to haunt you. Their 2020 remarriage lasted 4 years, a lifetime in soap opera time, but old habits, new temptations, and unresolved trauma eventually tore them apart once again. Is a reunion on the horizon? And yet, if Days of Our Lives has taught us anything, it's to never count out true love. There are subtle, and not so subtle, signs that a Belle and Shawn reunion may be in the works. For one, EJ seems to be losing his grip on Belle. Their chemistry, while undeniable, has always lacked the soul-deep connection Belle shares with Shawn. EJ is a Mera through and through, manipulative, ambitious, and emotionally guarded. Belle has often found herself questioning whether she truly has a place in his life. Meanwhile, Shawn, despite his self-destructive choices, has been quietly working on himself. Whether it's sobriety, therapy, or simply time away from the chaos of Salem, he's showing signs of growth. And Belle? She's never stopped loving him, not really. Their pain is palpable, but so is the bond that continues to tie them together, even when everything else falls apart. The endless cycle of love and redemption. In many ways, Belle and Shawn's story is a microcosm of what keeps Days of Our Lives so beloved after all these years. It's messy, it's human, and it's always evolving. Their relationship isn't built on fairy tale perfection, it's built on resilience, on the idea that even when people break each other's hearts, healing is still possible. For viewers over 65 who have followed these characters for decades, Belle and Shawn are more than just a couple. They're a reflection of the complexities of love later in life. They show us that even mature love isn't immune to mistakes, and that second chances, or third, or fourth, aren't just for the young. As we look ahead, one thing is certain: whether together or apart, Belle and Shawn's story isn't finished. And maybe, just maybe, the next chapter will finally bring the peace and happiness they've spent a lifetime chasing. Because in Salem, love always finds a way.